Well, I guess I gotta start taking all this apart. Hey, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. This is our 2013 Mitsubishi Fuso FG and I'm trying to turn it into an overland camper. However, I've run into a bit of a problem. If you've watched last week's video, you'll know all the steps that I've taken to troubleshoot this issue so far. Now we do have a little bit of a time travel issue here because if you watched the last video and you made a comment and you actually had the solution, I haven't read that comment yet because you haven't made that comment yet because that video hasn't come out yet. But it has because you're now watching this one. That may actually be more complicated than the problem. But since the time that I filmed that video, which is in the past, and until the time where I post that video, which is in the future, I've had a couple more ideas of things that I can check, so that's what I'm going to do today. One of the things I wanted to verify when I started this troubleshooting was that I had power going to all of the computers. A lot of the computers in this truck have multiple power feeds, so I came to the SAM box and verified that all the fuses were good. Obviously, verifying fuses is a good thing to do. However, some of the circuits actually split after the fuse. So this means I could have a good fuse, but I could have a fault on a circuit after the fuse that means the ECU is not getting power. The next thing that I'm going to try is disconnecting the plugs coming out of the SAM and verifying that the pins in those plugs are supplying power. On the SAM, we have the engine main relay. This main relay feeds a number of circuits. Some of them come through plug 5C and some of them come through plug 7C. On these two plugs, there are a total of 7 wires that I'm interested in. 5 of them feed the engine and 2 feed the SCR, which is part of the emissions system, which could be interfering and causing a no start. I'll start with plug 5C pin 5, and it looks like we have power here. Next, I'll check plug 7C. First, I'll check that I have ground, and then move on to the pins. Let me mute that buzzer for you. Pin 7C2 doesn't appear to have a wire, so let's move on to 7C4, which doesn't appear to have power. Let me try another spot. Nothing. 7C6 does have power. And then we skip one to go to 7C10, which has power. And the one below 10 is 7C9, which does not appear to have power. That's interesting. And one over from 7C9 is 7C7, and we have power there. While this may not be it, it is definitely interesting that I don't have power on those two circuits. I believe I should. Now, before I make an assumption that this is a SAM issue, I am going to undo those plugs and measure the individual pins, because maybe it's just that my meter's not contacting the pin in the back of the plug. The plug comes out easily enough by squeezing the sides, and this exposes the contacts for the SAM. Now I can confirm in the same locations for power to ensure that it's not a plug problem, and I get the same results. From what I can see in the wiring diagram, those two pins should have power when the ignition is on. And if you recall way back a whole bunch of videos, I did discover that I had a problem in the SAM. So possibly this has just manifested itself into a bigger problem than it used to be. So here's what I was thinking. If those 3 wires in fact are supposed to all have power and they all feed the ECU and one of them does not have power, that would be a good reason for the truck not to start. The easy way to prove this would be to insert a jumper wire in so that all 3 wires get power. However, unfortunately, the only thing I've proven to this point is that I am a giant dumbass. You see, in the wiring diagram, it shows the pin out of the plug, and just below it, it says front side. I've been measuring from the back. What this means is I've been measuring everything 180 degrees out. So I was measuring the plug left to right instead of right to left. So what that effectively means is when I thought I was measuring pin 9, I was actually measuring pin 5. And when I go back and measure them, fortunately, I guess, rather than unfortunately, the SAM is putting out power where it's supposed to. Well, I suppose it's a good thing that it means that the SAM isn't defective, but I was really hoping that I was actually about to find something there. Now that doesn't mean that the ECU is getting power. There could be an issue in the harnesses between the SAM and the ECU, but I think that is a little bit unlikely, so I'm going to start going down another road. In the troubleshooting section of the manual, there does appear to be one thing that can cause an engine no start that I cannot find a correlating diagnostic code for. And it's something I haven't checked yet. Whoa, that's heavy. Oh, and by the way, there's no reason to struggle like me. This bolt right here, which I'll give you a little bit better view from underneath, is your cab tensioning bolt. That's adjusting the tension on the spring that you use to lift the cab. So if you loosen that jam nut off there and then push that bolt in a little bit and tighten the jam nut up again, you'll have a much easier time opening the cab. But that's not what's causing my no start. I'm hoping this is. Water temperature sensor can apparently prevent the engine from starting, and it does not appear to have a code for a faulty sensor or any issues on that circuit. Now, the manual does give a test procedure where you immerse it in hot oil and check the resistance at different temperatures, but for me, I just want to see if it's open or short circuit. So I'm going to start by removing this plug, which can be a little easier if you use a screwdriver from the underside. Down in here, there's two small contacts, and I want to measure resistance. I believe the temperature right now is around low 20s in Celsius, and I think I should get around 2.2 thousand ohms, or 2.2 kiloohms. What are we getting? That is 2.228 kiloohms. So that sensor is bang on where it should be. I'm quickly running out of options here. The next things that I can think of to check are the SCR temperature sensor 1, temperature sensor 2 were throwing codes, and the EGT temperature sensor 2 was throwing a code along with the differential pressure sensor. Realistically, I don't know if those sensors are causing the codes or if something else is causing the sensors to go out, which is causing the codes. The first sensor I'm going to measure is exhaust gas temperature sensor 2, which is underneath the truck, up here on top of the DPF. So this sensor here, which you do not need to remove to test, has a wire harness that runs up this way and out through there, which I can access from outside the truck. It's a little tight to get the camera in there, but down in behind this area here, you will find the plugs, and they have a little red clip like this. If you push the clip off to the side, you don't need to remove it like I did, but push the clip off to the side and the two halves will come apart. Since they're so close, I'm going to test EGT sensor 2 and 1, and that will also give me a good reference since sensor 1 is not throwing a code. I fed the plugs back down from the top, and I just need to measure resistance like I did on the coolant sensor. Temp sensor 1 reads accurately. Sensor 2 with the fault code, I can't get a consistent reading, and when I can get a reading, it's way too high, so it does seem this is a bad sensor. While I'm down here, up above the EGT sensors are the plugs for the two SCR sensors, so I'll measure them in the same way. Pushing the red clip to the side will allow me to disconnect and access the pins for measuring resistance. Also, you'll need to reference the chart in the PDF manual to match the resistance to your ambient temperature when taking these measurements. And you may need to work the red tab back and forth a few times to get the grid out. It's pretty difficult to hold the plug and the meter and the leads and get it at an angle where the camera and I can both see the meter, so this is my best shot at it. As with the EGT sensors, I can't get a good reading on sensor 1, so it's likely shot, and sensor 2 looks like it's right on the money. So that confirms that at least 2 of the 4 of those sensors probably aren't good. I'll need to get some more on order. In order to be able to test the differential pressure sensor, I do need a 5-volt signal, which I don't have, so I'll get something on order for that as well. With that said, I really don't think that those sensors are causing a no-start issue, so I don't believe I'm any closer to getting this resolved. Now, if you've got an idea for something that you think I've missed in this video or in the last one, throw it in the comments below and I'll give it a try. I'd really like to get back to building the interior of this truck, so any of your tips are greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.